Good afternoon, folks. This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. And I'm your host, Glenn Glasper, affectionately known as Mr. Dollar Out of a Dime. And I have here with me the man who has the information that everybody needs. Mr. Charlie Fowler, how are you today, sir?
I'm well, sir.
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining us. Charlie is here is going to share with us some very, very, very important information. I can't stress to you how important it is. It's some information that saved my life. I've been involved with it. I've had the protection for 18 years and counting, and I can't say where I would be if I didn't have it. But I'll let Mr. Fowler tell you a little bit more about that. Tell him who you are, sir, and what you do and how fantastic you are.
Well, I've got as you know, I have a nickname, the Mountain Man, because
Yes.
I buy and sell mountain property. I've been an investor for 15 years, done almost every kind of real estate investing you can do.
Yes.
But now all I do is focus on what makes me happy, which is buying and selling mountain property. So they call me the Mountain Man, but I recently got a new nickname. And people are now also calling me the Godfather of the LegalShield investor program.
I
So
would
got
be
actually
inclined
got
to
a-
agree with
I
that.
got a Godfather title now too. nickname.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
What do you tell them? Forget about it.
I got an offer you
Can't refuse. Right, right.
Well, you know my story, and we in some ways we have a similar story. We're both
Definitely.
We both learned about this program, which is a company called LegalShield. It's been around for 47 years, but it took you and me a little while to find out about it. I learned about it 15 years ago. You learned about it 18 years ago.
18 years ago, yeah.
Probably from someone who was already using it.
Yes.
And they recommended it, and you gave it a try, and so did I. And
Absolutely.
My life hadn't been the same since. It seems kind of crazy that you can pay money for something, a little service. It costs between $25 and $50 a month.
Yes.
It's very inexpensive, and that it can actually change your life. But
Definitely.
I was surprised to hear you say it saved your life. So I know there's some stories there.
You know, I would have to say, just to give a couple of different stories, real short stories. Now, of course, I was told in the business of real estate, you're nobody until somebody sues you. You know, the first time, it's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times. But first time it was out of the blue. I was new. Well, I was not new, but I was still fresh in real estate. And, you know, I figure I'm doing everything right. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. But how many of you know that even if you're doing everything okay and everything right, that doesn't matter. Somebody's going to try to get some of what they think you have. And somebody attempted to sue me. And when I got the papers in the mail, the people came knocking on the door. I fell apart. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Somebody sued me. And I remember, wait a minute. I got these attorneys that I can call up at any time and tell them about it. Let me just see if it'll work. Called the people up, sent them the documents over. They told me, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And I was like, that's all? You know, now coming from where I come from, somebody sue you, that's your life. You're done. Especially when you ain't got much. And but you know, when they told me not to worry about it, you know, we were actually scheduled to go to court. The lady called me up. She said, "Don't worry about going to court." I spoke to the other attorney. They realized they don't have a case. You're all set. I said,
Wow.
"Okay." And that's when I knew that having this program was going to be something that would be huge for my business and for my life. I mean, because after that, you know, I got a new car. And I got about 13 speeding tickets.
Okay, yeah. I know where this is going.
Right. And every single situation, now, according to the state of Georgia, I have a 100% perfect driving record.
Nice.
Even after having 13 speeding tickets.
Well, and you may or may not have been guilty, but the point is that
Right.
we're entitled to have an attorney represent us in
Absolutely.
court if you can afford one.
I'm going to tell you this. I had one ticket, I think was a wrong turn. I was speeding, let me be honest. I was speeding, but the officer wasn't paying attention, so he pulled me over anyway because he wanted to get me for something. So he tried to charge me with making a wrong turn. I went to court. And I told the judge, I said, I want to, take a minute because my attorney.
You had your attorney, right?
Well, my attorney, he was running late that day. But I told the judge, I said, I want to hold up until my attorney gets here. And he said, "You have an attorney for this?" I said, "I absolutely do." And my attorney walked in right when he was telling me what he was going to say. My attorney really didn't have to do anything. He realized because I had an attorney, it was going to be a waste of their time to even try to charge me with anything. He said, "We're just going to dismiss this. Drive carefully." I said,
I hope you bought your attorney lunch after that.
I did a couple of times later after I saw him in court again.
Well, stories, we have a saying in LegalShield, facts tell, but stories
Stories sell,
because
absolutely.
most people, they don't like lawyers. They avoid them.
Yes.
They use them like fire
Yes.
Extinguishers. They
Correct.
never, if they're lucky enough to have one, they don't touch them unless they have a fire,
That's
a
right.
legal fire.
That's right.
And but having LegalShield shifts that whole conversation.
Yes.
So that you and I, and me 15 years, you 18 years, we know that we have a lawyer for anything, even for just conversation.
Right.
But when there is a problem, a ticket or whatever, they step right in to help.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and I've got stories too. I know that you're a family man, as I am.
Yes.
You've got nearly grown kids. I
They're
think
grown.
you have one in college, right?
Yes.
19.
Yes.
Yep. And she's out of state, I understand.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I remember my son is now 26, but when he was at Florida State as a freshman, he called me at 2:30 in the morning. I was sound asleep. Now, some of you have gotten that call before, so
Right.
you know what I said. I picked up the phone and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Dad, my car's gone. What do I do?"
Wow.
Now, that was I'm 5.5 hours away. What can I do?
Right.
But
right.
fortunately, I had LegalShield for a couple of years, and he knew that. And so I asked him what happened, and he told me. And then I said, "Have you called the law firm yet?" He said, "I'm going to call them right now. I thought I better call you first."
Wow.
And long story short, we had an attorney, a Florida attorney, on the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning, advising him on how to talk to the police. It turned out the car was towed. And so he advised him on how to get his car back, because for a 17-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid off at college, that's a pretty strange thing when your car's gone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so when I got off the phone with the lawyer and with my son, and my lawyer and my son had full instructions, guess what I did?
What, you went back
I
to
went
sleep?
back to
I was
sleep.
going to say, well, what else would there be to do?
Right, because we had it handled.
Right.
And the end of that story, very quickly, is that the lawyer, and he's a lawyer at a big law firm with 50, 75 lawyers on staff. That's the law firms that LegalShield uses. He actually wrote a letter to the tow company on Monday and said, "Our client is going to need that $88 back, or else we're going to need to be talking to you in court about grand theft auto."
Wow.
And so, you know what happened? The check arrived. So
Absolutely.
my 18-year-old son got his money back for the tow. I don't know about the other two cars that they towed at the same time.
Wow.
But story after story, 15 years for me, 18 for you. Life happens. And so I know we're here to talk about how LegalShield is essential if you're going to be an investor.
Definitely.
But the fact is, if you're a grown-up, especially if you're a family man,
Definitely.
the fact that they will do your wills for you, and they'll set up a trust for your children at no charge.
Absolutely.
And they'll have that done in 2 weeks. And they'll go to traffic court for you, obviously. They'll help you with really anything that you got going on personally, even 24/7.
You reminded me of a situation that my son was in, my oldest son, who's now 29, so now he has to get his own plan.
Yeah.
But we've used it several times for him. He actually got a ticket for being a super speeder when the super speeder law came out. And they got it reduced. He paid a small fine, no points.
Now, what would that, was he on your insurance at the time?
Yes.
What would that have done to your insurance?
Oh my goodness, it would have tore it apart.
For years.
Yes.
For years.
Yes.
So the cost of a reduced fine and no points is one thing. The fact
Yes.
that neither you or maybe even your son had to go to court. You may have gone to court, but it wasn't necessary because you were represented in court.
Definitely.
Was that in state or out of state?
That was in state.
I had one out of state, very similar to that, and the same thing happened, even though it was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, so it is. It's a part. It becomes the foundation of the way you live your life. You're lawyered up, and you have a peace of mind, and you have a peace inside, because you're not worried if you see blue lights. You're not worried if you get a letter from the IRS in the mail, because you've got people to handle that.
Definitely, definitely.
So,
And you know, when we talk about having this program and talking about how it's beneficial to all areas of life, you know, one of the things that I always like that you say that most people don't have it, especially people that are investing in real estate and doing business. Most people don't have it because they've never had someone to explain to them how it works and how the benefits of it are. And I know that was, I'll be honest, when I first got it, I didn't know. You know, it was a friend of mine that told me about it, and I said, okay, I'll use it to see if it'll work. But when I used it, made absolute sense to me. You know, he didn't explain it all to me in the beginning. You know, he wasn't as thorough as you are. And then, like I said, this was 18 years old. 18 years ago, he probably didn't know much about it then
well,
himself.
it was not nearly as good a program then either.
Right, exactly, exactly.
So it has
You know,
really grown.
definitely, definitely.
One of the things, we actually hired a new CEO about 5 years ago. You may not know this. And we hired him from Microsoft, of all places. He ran
wow.
the Xbox division of Microsoft. And he was the guy that actually took the software Xbox and made it online Xbox.
Oh,
So it
really?
grew 10 times, you know, when that happened.
Wow,
And so
wow.
when he came to LegalShield, and we're selling basically lawyer services and identity theft protection, that's the other piece of what we do.
Got it, got it.
He really needed to. He wanted to see some technology,
Right.
and so one of the first things we did was develop a great app for our phone.
Yes,
And
yes.
I have a picture of this. I know that nobody can see it, but I can tell you this is a screenshot just of my app from my phone. And every LegalShield member has that app, and one of the buttons on there says submit a traffic ticket.
Wow,
So
wow.
you actually now just snap a picture of your, you tap the app, you snap a picture of your traffic ticket, and you send it in along with
Wow.
maybe a picture of the accident, or maybe the other person is holding their neck, or maybe they're not holding their neck, but you know, they might
Hopefully they're
start
not.
holding their neck.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Or maybe there's no damage to their car, so you go ahead and take a snap of that. And you hit a button, even in the middle of the night, it's on the desk of your traffic attorney within seconds. And so
Wow.
that attorney's
Wow.
going to call you the next day and make the arrangements.
Wow.
So some of
Wow.
this technology is amazing. There's another button on here that, again, you can't see it, but there's a big red button at the bottom. And I thought it would be useful to show the audience what happens when we hit that button, because this is going to blow your mind. Most of us don't even know a lawyer, but if we're in business, we know lawyers, but we certainly don't have their cell phone number, and we can't call them in the middle of the night in an emergency situation, because they're not going to come help us in a traffic.
Right,
You know,
right.
they're probably closing attorneys, or maybe they're business attorneys, or maybe they're family friends, but we don't have the kind of access that LegalShield gives, and I'll show you what I mean. On my phone here, I'm going to tap the app, and I'm going to touch one of those buttons. It says Emergency Legal Access, and I want you to listen to what happens.
Thank you for calling LegalShield and ID Shield emergency access lines. These lines are for emergency calls only. If you are being arrested or questioned by a law officer, please press 1. If you have an emergency identity theft fraud issue, please press 2. If you are involved in an auto accident with injury, or this is a Department of Child Protective Services issue, please press 3.
Now, Glenn, let's just see how long it takes to get a human on the line.
Hear these options again.
Please hold while we route your call. Emergency line, this is Patty. Call me.
I went ahead and hung up on her. That was rude. We want to move on. That was literally 5 seconds to have someone on the phone.
Wow.
Now, that's the same in the middle of the night. It's the same Christmas morning, New Year's Eve. How would you feel to have that on the phone of everyone in your family?
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And so that's some of the technology that our new CEO brought to us. So life happens.
If we're
LegalShield's
sitting at the
essential.
closing table and we're closing the deal and we don't understand some information on the document.
You know, it's funny you mention that. There's another button on here. It's an artificial intelligence engine. Her name is Erin, and you can literally tap that button on the app, tap the app, and ask legal questions now and have an artificial intelligence engine try to answer them. Now, I wouldn't,
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
for simple things, what's a durable power of attorney?
Okay.
What's a hold harmless agreement? Things that are pretty common, you can literally get an answer anytime at the closing table.
That's in the app?
That's in the app.
Okay, pardon my ignorance. I've had LegalShield for a long time, but I haven't downloaded the app yet. I did download the Forms app. I have that. Wait, I think I have the app. I don't think I've used it yet. So now that I know, again, most people don't use it because they don't know.
Well, most people treat
Yeah.
lawyers and even LegalShield like a fire extinguisher. They put it on their shelf and they hope that nothing bad happens. But I can tell you a secret. Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
That's not the way wealthy people use lawyers. I mean really wealthy people, people like Glenn and all the really wealthy people, they know that lawyers
Okay.
make them money.
I'll say that I'm one of the real wealthy people. I receive
Absolutely,
that. I
you
receive it.
that. So my nephew is the shortstop for the Braves.
Okay.
Okay, he got a $6.5 million signing bonus out of Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Now, do you think that he signed anything without having his lawyer look at it? Never. And do you think he ever makes an important decision without getting advice?
Not at all.
Never.
Yeah, right.
And so we do it all the time, don't we? Because I was 45 years old before I learned about LegalShield.
Wow.
And
wow.
so I had a long life. I had 6 rental properties at the time, and I had started and sold a business. And let me tell you, that cost me $10,000 in legal fees.
Wow.
Selling that
Wow.
business. And so when I found this out, I just didn't believe it, Glenn. I said, that can't be true.
Yeah.
But the person who told me about it was an active investor, and he said, it's true, I use it. And so I said, well, it's about $40, I think. I'll try it for a month. There's no contract, so I'll
Right.
give it a try. And I had the same experience you did. I tried it. It really worked.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
for me, right from the get-go, it was about supporting my investment business. And then I was just joyful to learn about all that personal help. Because I raised 2 teenagers. My will was 10 years out of date. And less than 2 weeks after I got the plan, I got a speeding ticket. So, you know,
Wow.
I can't say too much about how much peace of mind and support it's given on the personal side. But I know you want to talk about how investors need it. And we do. You mentioned something a minute ago. We do agree that the only reason an investor doesn't have this is that nobody's explained it to him yet.
Right.
That's the only reason.
And you know, I oftentimes would have conversations with folks that I talk to about different things that we invest in and things that we pay for. And one of the things that I think a lot of people miss is cost versus value, right? Now, I'll be honest. My plan is grandfathered in because I've had it for quite some time, and I don't pay the $40. But what I would say in cost versus value, in the time that I've had it over the 18 years, that one lawsuit was $25,000, right?
Wow.
And that one lawsuit being $25,000 over 18 years, I don't think I've even paid that amount over the 18-year period. And we're talking one lawsuit, and I've had, I think, 3 in the time that I've been doing business. Not to mention the insurance savings that I've gotten because of raising the teenagers, and the insurance savings that I've gotten because I didn't have the speeding tickets put on my driving record.
13 tickets,
Right,
didn't you?
right. I still have a driver's license. So not to mention those things, you know, and I want people to get really the cost versus value perspective of what we're talking about. Because we can explain it and explain it and explain it. But when you look at the value of what's being offered here, forget the cost. We look at what it's worth versus what it costs, and the things that it save you from, the situations it can save you from with a minimal investment. You know, that's what I look at. You know, I look at investing in something.
And lawsuits are a great example because they literally defend you in a lawsuit at no charge. At
Yes.
no charge. I've never had a lawsuit. So for me to tell that story is not as meaningful as for you to tell it.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah,
but I have had, and if I could just get real for a minute, and
well, see, I've had lawsuits because people believe I'm one of those wealthy people that you were talking about.
I know, they want what you have. And you know, there's a
It's like,
saying
he's
about
got it.
lawsuits. Anybody can sue anybody. They don't need a reason. They just need $40 and a bad attitude.
Exactly.
That's it. And they will. They
Right,
will.
right.
I heard the other day that real estate agents are one of the top 3 sued professions that are
Wow.
sued, along with
Wow.
doctors, and are you ready? Ministers.
Ministers
I didn't
do
know that. But
that.
okay, so I've never had a lawsuit, but a year after I got my plan in 2005, a year after that, in 2006, we had a house fire. My family had a house fire. We had a big place out in West Cobb, had 2 houses on the property. We had a house fire, it was a 90% loss, and
Wow.
a big insurance settlement, and that was very traumatic. My lawyers held our hands through that. But 3 months later, my wife let me know that we were going to get divorced, and it wasn't my idea. But I had LegalShield to take care of me, my side, and it took over a year for a divorce. And so I know some people have had to deal with divorce. Some people may in the future. It's more than 50% of the population now.
Yes.
And
yes,
I just want you to know, I know for a fact that I saved $10,000 on that divorce, because I saw the bill. I saw what part LegalShield paid. So I have a similar number that I'll never pay $10,000 for my LegalShield.
Right.
But it saved me 10 right then.
Right.
And let me tell another story that might segue to more news.
Yes.
Because most people watching and most people in the world don't like lawyers. They avoid them. They use them as little as possible. And as I said, they use them like fire extinguishers.
Right.
If they are lucky enough to have one, they never touch it. But that's not the way wealthy people use them, right?
Right.
Wealthy people get things reviewed to stay out of trouble, but they also make money by making better decisions with good advice.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to mention once, when I started buying mountain property about 5 years ago, I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but the first piece of property I bought, I went to a land sale, a liquidation sale, and it didn't go the way I thought it should. So I had someone, I was ready to buy a piece of property, and for various reasons, it got sold to someone else. So I was unhappy. I didn't think it was fair, and I went to see the owner of the company, the development company. He sort of agreed that it wasn't fair, and he sort of agreed, and we shook on it, that he was going to take care of me on a future land sale. And that was on a Saturday.
Okay.
And on Monday, I called my attorney to tell what happened at Legal at Parker.
Okay.
And he said, well, let's get him put in writing.
Okay.
I'll send him a nice letter and ask him to put it in writing. And so he wrote that letter on a Monday. And they writers for you. It's not one lawyer. There are 50 lawyers on the bill.
I've seen, yes.
He have 100 employees. It's a skyscraper down on Mount Road. You can see it for 85.
Yes.
It says Deming Law on it now.
Yes.
So they have recently moved to that skyscraper.
Oh, okay.
And so he wrote a letter to that guy, and just a very nice letter. He wrote it on Monday. I reviewed it on Wednesday, and he received it certified mail on Friday.
Wow.
And he called me up and he said, why'd you give it to your lawyer? Now I got to give it to my lawyer.
Yeah.
I said, I don't have to do that. It's a nice letter. You know how lawyers are.
Right.
I said, my lawyer just insisted that I ask you to put in writing what we agreed last Saturday. He said, we're doing another land sale tomorrow. Come up here, come up to LJ, and I'll take care of you. So the next day, I bought a $60,000 piece of property for $8,900.
Wow.
And here's the punchline. Another guy at the sale bought it from me within a week. I made $40,000 because of that letter.
Wow.
So my point being, lawyers can help you make money,
Yes.
not just get you out of trouble.
Definitely. Yeah. And they help you keep a lot of your money. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like even like, because I teach real estate now, and a lot of the documents that I give to my students now, I've had reviewed. I mean, I've used them for years, but I've had them, they've been revised and different things like that. I revise them over the year, and then I get instructions on what to put in, what not to put in, different things like that. And I transfer them to my students, and of course, I always tell them to have their attorneys review them. But just being able to be in a position to say that I've had these documents, several of them, all of them that I use have been reviewed by my attorneys is huge. Because, thinking back from a time where I didn't know much about attorneys, it costs several $1,000s to have them revise a document for you. a traditional attorney.
Absolutely.
Several $1,000s that to have them, especially review and revise and tell you what to put in and what to take out, because they know that those documents can eventually make you money and save you money. They typically are, attorneys will charge a lot of money to help you create those documents. And I've actually been able to do that several times over and not had to pay anything extra.
Let me illustrate that with a new product that we launched a year ago. One thing that every investor needs is at least one LLC or S corp.
Yes.
If not more. I had
Yes.
a lady call me yesterday. She said 4 of us are going together. We're each going to have an S corp, and the S corps are going to own the LLC.
Okay.
I said, well, there are many strategies on how to structure investment business. But I told her, I said, well, you need Launch. Launch is a new program that we put together last year. We went to our law firms and we asked them, how much do you charge to set up an LLC or an S corp? Our law firm said we charge a minimum of $750.
Right.
Okay, now our LegalShield plans did not cover that. They gave a discount. They gave assistance, but it wasn't fully covered. So we came out with a program, and I tell you, when I tell you what the attorneys agreed to, it's gonna shock you, because nationwide now, and I didn't mention this, but LegalShield's a nationwide program. So when you join here in Georgia, you have use of it all over the U.S. in every state, including Hawaii and Canada. So
Canada?
And Canada.
Wow.
So
okay.
we're in 4 provinces of Canada. We just expanded into all 7.
Wow.
So
wow.
it's a national program, just so you know.
Wow.
But in this case, we set up a program called Launch. It's a flat fee program. The lawyers actually interview you, consult with you, help you decide what type of entity, where you want it, in what state. Then they actually go out and register the name for you. They actually go out and create your operating agreement and your articles of incorporation or your articles of organization.
Okay.
They do all that. Then they file at the state. They do the entire filing for you, and they pay for it on their account.
Okay.
Now, they are going to ask you to pay them back. You're going to give them a credit card, and then they're going to charge that back to you, whatever they pay the state, because they don't know if you're going to do a rush job. The overnight costs $250, or if you're going to do the regular one for $95.
Right. Okay.
Right? So they don't pay that. I mean, they pay it, but they don't. But you pay them back. Then they go get your EIN number for you, and then they put it all together in a nice corporation package. And and excuse me, it includes 3 months of legal. So they will hold your hand. They'll not only set it up for you, but they'll hold your hand for 3 months. The total price for that bundle is $145. They do. It's exactly the same lawyers doing exactly the same thing they do for $750.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And it includes $105 of LegalShield in it. So they literally will do that. So, as you said, lawyers charge a lot of money to do stuff.
Right.
If you walk in the front door of our law firm in that skyscraper and ask them to set up an LLC, it's going to be $750 plus.
I remember it was $1,500 some years ago.
Well, and when, as you know, you've heard me do it, I'll get in a room and explain this to a room full of investors, and I'll say, who in here paid more than $500 to set up your LLC?
A lot of hands go up.
And then I ask them how many paid more than $1,000, and hands stay up.
Yes.
And sometimes $2,500, $3,000. If you go through one of those programs, it can be $15,000.
Wow.
Now they do other things for you, but still.
And you got a lot of those online programs. I won't say the names of them. I don't know if legally, since we're being legal here, I don't know if legally I can say the name of them, but not. But yeah. So a lot of the online programs, I know they're like $9.99 and $400 and things like that.
Yes. So I mean, it's literally, if you take out the credit for the 3 months, it's literally $40 that they're charging you to set up your LLC or your S corp.
Wow.
Imagine getting a lawyer to even move his car in the parking lot for $40.
Right.
Right. So that's probably, I'm amazed at how perfect that is for investors. Because, as you know, if we do a deal with somebody, we'll probably set up an LLC to handle that particular deal. If we partner with someone, that's the way to do it. And as that lady said, you can often have a structure that includes many different entities. And certainly, if you have a property in another state, you definitely want to have an entity in that state, and you want to have a legal plan in that state so you can directly work with the law firm for that state.
Definitely.
So we have one of the leaders of one of the RIA groups here in Atlanta has 7 legal plans, LegalShield plans.
Wow.
Because she and her husband has a home inspection business that has its own LLC. She buys mini warehouses, storage units. She has a separate LLC. She owns a RIA group. She has a separate one. She has another business plan from LegalShield to hold properties, and another one to remodel properties. And then she has a plan for her family. Now, I'm not going to say her name, but I'll tell you that the total bill.
Her name is. No, I'm kidding. I won't say
Right,
it.
Glenn knows her well. Her total bill for everything that she buys from us is $295 a month. Sounds like a lot, right?
Wow.
But she used to pay $300 an hour for one lawyer.
Right.
And she actually is supporting 5 different businesses and her family.
Wow.
So,
So is it necessary for her to have one for each?
when you do launch and you have a different entity,
Okay.
if that entity has employees or multiple members, it must have its own legal plan.
Okay. Got it.
But we do
Okay.
have this bundle, and that gets to maybe a more detailed discussion of how we help investors.
Got it.
One of the things that I've done, and Glenn's helped me, I've been with LegalShield 15 years. I've been an investor for 20, but for the last 5 years, I've been putting together an investor-specific program. And then LegalShield came out with Launch. It was perfect for us. But we have a bundle. We call it the Investor Bundle. It comes in 2 flavors, personal or individual and family. It costs around $40 a month. We've negotiated with LegalShield a really good discount. So that's available through Glenn and through his business unit. And it's for families, it's $16 a month, which is like 27%. Imagine getting $16 off.
It's $16 a month?
It's $16 a month discount.
Oh, discount. Okay.
So instead of being
So I was gonna
$60,
say,
which LegalShield would charge you.
That's a little more. That's a
That's
dollar
more
more
like
than
me.
what I pay.
Yours is cheaper than mine. Yeah, we've had it long.
Right.
But
Yeah, I want
so
my
we
price
have this
back.
bundle, and this bundle costs for an individual at your discount about $36 a month.
Wow.
And
wow.
for a family, it's $44 a month.
Right.
That includes the full personal plan. It includes the emergency service. It includes a business supplement. And that one does cover multiple business activities for you.
Got it.
So if you have a big business, it may need its own plan, like the lady we're speaking about.
Okay.
But if you have the bundle, you're good to go, unless you get complex and you start to have businesses with partners or employees.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
So we have this bundle. That's really all 90% of investors need.
Right.
It's around $40. It includes a personal plan, a business supplement, an identity theft and fraud plan, the emergency service, and 6 other things. There's 10 parts to the bundle.
Got it.
And if anyone would like a copy of that bundle or a sheet that explains exactly how Launch works and how the bundle works and what is included, then we're going to give them a way to get that at the end of the call.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll certainly make sure we have a way for them to reach out to you. But what I want to do, I want to make sure that we open up for anyone that has questions. Go ahead and type your questions in the box below. If you have any questions, we want to make sure we cover all the bases because I know something like this. I believe we're being as thorough as we possibly can be. But as we mentioned earlier, I believe a lot of times that people look at something like this and they don't know the importance of it because they haven't had it explained to them properly. And like I said in the beginning, I didn't have it explained to me properly when I first got it, and I just tried it out of, I guess, of an emergency. But had I known when I first got it that I could have been using it to help with building my business, I probably would have saved quite a bit of money even earlier on. But that situation that came up, I was like, okay, let me just use it out of fear now. But I think if we understand the importance of having it and the necessity, especially for those of us that are doing real estate, that are doing any type of business, we understand that. Like, I mean, I can give another situation where I had an issue with one of the major cell phone companies.
Mhm.
They were trying to charge me an extra amount of money on a bill, and I'm like, no, that didn't make sense. They were trying to charge me for a phone that I know I didn't order. I had LegalShield send a letter. And
Now,
all,
who's ever had a problem with a phone company?
oh, yes, yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure, right? And all of that went away. So I want to make sure we cover as much information as possible to make sure people get the importance and the gist of having this. Yes, it's important to have it for business, but even having it as business, it can also pour over into your personal life as well, where you have those situations that may come up. I mean, we all have situations that come up. Life happens to us all, you know, and it's best to have something and not need it in case, and need it and not have it.
And, you know, let me back up a second. So the law firm wrote a letter to the phone company,
Oh, yes.
and that cost you nothing.
Nothing.
And the phone company backed down and solved the whole
You
problem.
know, I was like, wait a minute now, this, and I'll say the name of the company, it was Sprint. And I'm thinking like, yeah, this little law firm ain't gonna be able to do nothing with Sprint. Sprint is a conglomerate, you know? But when they sent them that letter, I mean, of course, at the time, again, my ignorance, I didn't know how powerful this law firm was, you know, and they sent them the letter and they were like, okay, well, we're good.
And that I have dozens and dozens and dozens of stories. In my 15 years with LegalShield, our group has signed up over 6,500 members.
Wow.
And I hear these
Wow.
stories all the time, and that's a really important point that you just gave me a memory jog about. LegalShield's been around for 47 years.
Right.
Some of the people that are watching this have LegalShield now, and they didn't know all the things they have.
Yes.
But they don't have this
Yes.
investor bundle. They don't have your special pricing.
Right.
The most important thing that you get with this is your own agent. You get your own person to make sure that you get the most out of it. So Glenn and I both, we bought it. We really didn't have anyone help us. No one
Yeah,
explained it
yeah.
to us. We just stumbled along and figured it out as we went.
Absolutely.
And it was still worth it.
Definitely, definitely.
But everyone on this call who buys it through Glenn is going to get a special investor program. They're going to get it at a seriously reduced price, and they're going to have someone assigned to them to actually help them with special materials and special training and coach just about how to use lawyers in real estate.
Right,
And that is
right.
worth an enormous amount of money.
Well, Charlie says if you buy it through me, but he's making it special because those of you that are watching on the show today, I'm going to say this: you get him.
Yeah, he told you the secret,
Right.
right?
You get
So,
him.
To the extent of my abilities, I'm going to be there. But anyone that is your agent that helps you works for me.
Yes.
So I'm
yes.
behind every one of them, and every
Definitely.
one of you will have my cell phone number. You
Yes.
can certainly text me. You get me on the phone if you can, but I get a lot of phone calls.
Yes. Yes.
It's a thrill for me to work with the leaders in the marketplace, because those of you who are in Georgia or in Atlanta, you know all the names that you know of people who are seriously leading this business
Yes.
are using LegalShield
Absolutely.
and recommending
Absolutely.
it, just
Absolutely.
like Glenn. And
Yeah.
Glenn, when did we meet?
Oh man, it's been a few years now.
It's been a few years, maybe
Yeah.
what, five years
Yeah,
ago? maybe?
somewhere along
But
there.
you've had LegalShield for 18.
Yes. Yes.
So this isn't about me.
right.
This is
right,
about
right.
LegalShield. All I did was come in and, working with you and the other leaders, put together an investor-friendly program
Yes.
and build bridges with the law firm, because that's the other thing we're working on constantly.
Well,
where
let
it
me
is to get the lawyers.
Let me say this, Charlie, not to give you an opportunity to be too humble. Now, I've had LegalShield for 18 years, but since meeting Charlie, my mind has been blown about the way that I can use it. Like, you told me about that Forms app. I was like, I didn't know anything about the form. Like, even this app, even showing me the different ways that you can use it, even making the phone call in the middle of the night, I never do that. But just having access to someone like yourself, who this is what you live and breathe pretty much, it can help me understand the value of what I already have. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that makes it even worth more to me.
Some
I would
people buy
probably
legal-
pay an additional $1 more a month.
Okay, that would be a good business for me, wouldn't it?
Right.
$6,500 times a dollar.
Right.
Right? So, but I tell you this, you'll either have me helping you or someone that I trained.
Yes.
And that's the fact, because what we've done here in Georgia is unduplicated anywhere in the country.
Wow.
So we
wow.
have got a program and a law firm that supports our program for investors. Now, it's not perfect, okay?
Right.
But it's by far the best thing going. There really is.
Yes.
You know, we are the shoes in a barefoot world. And
Wow.
you know what shoes do?
I like how you explained that.
You know, shoes, they help you run faster, but they also protect your feet.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what we do.
Okay.
So if people want to, if they've been barefoot their whole life and they don't want shoes, that's fine. You know, but most people understand that having shoes on is better than not having
Absolutely.
shoes on.
Absolutely.
So anyway, you can tell I love what I do. I came into this thing, I was wary of lawyers. I respected them, but I didn't like them because it hurt so bad to pay $300 an hour every time they talk to you.
Right.
So I avoided them. But I don't avoid them now. In fact, while we've been talking, I have the law firm checking on something right now, and they actually called, the lawyer called, and I saw it pop up while we've been talking.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that I make it a point, and I encourage you to do this. I make it a point to call my law firm at least twice a month and put them to work on something. Because the relationships you build with your lawyers, when something bad happens, you have the relationship.
Definitely.
So this is no different than any other law firm. And that brings up something that I don't want to forget to mention. Many of you have lawyers, or you're related to lawyers. Maybe you are a lawyer. That doesn't mean, having LegalShield doesn't mean you can't use your lawyer.
Right.
You can do anything you want. You can use anybody you want. You can pay full price as much as you want, right? But you have a law firm backed up by law firms nationwide behind the scenes. So use your lawyer if you like. I often use lawyers that are not part of the LegalShield system for closings.
Right.
But when I use the LegalShield system, I save 25% on the closing. So every closing, instead of $800, it's $600.
Wow.
Or instead of whatever, do the math, but 25% of your closing cost is going to be covered by LegalShield.
So let me make sure we clarify something. I want to make sure this is something that people understand. So you mentioned that you have a law firm backed by nationwide law firms. So I'm in Georgia. I have an issue in Idaho. We'll just use that for some reason. Can there be an attorney in Idaho that will help me with a situation
Not
that
just
comes?
an attorney, a law firm.
A law firm, okay.
So
okay.
the way that we work, and this is probably worth mentioning, we select a law firm for every state.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the size of the state. The law firm we have for California, we pay them $25 million a year.
Wow.
That law firm.
Wow.
$2 million a month. The law firm here in Georgia, we pay them about $500,000 a month, about $6 million a year. See, we pay them 1/3 of all the money we collect every month.
Wow.
So that law firm is extremely well. Now, in Idaho, we may only pay them $100,000 a month, but I bet we're their biggest client.
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we hold them to a very high standard of performance, and they are responsible for the legal care and happiness of every member in that state.
Wow.
So you need help in Idaho, you don't call Idaho, you call your law firm. You tap the app. There's a button on there that says call your law firm.
Look how simple he makes it. Just tap the app.
It's a very,
you're
very
good.
nice app. I tap that app.
Right. So you tap that app.
So you're going to tap the app. Your law firm is going to immediately see that they need to get with the Idaho law firm. And that law firm works for LegalShield too.
Wow.
So they're going to assign an attorney to help you. And that's the way it goes nationwide.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And you pay just one price a month?
Now, let me be careful about that. You pay a monthly fee. Everything you need lawyers for is covered, but not free.
Right.
Okay? Everything's covered at either 100%. That means free. Like your lawsuit defense, our traffic tickets, all the things we've talked about. Everything that's not free, not covered at 100%, is still covered at 25%, like real estate closings.
Got it. Okay.
By the way, if someone sues you, 100%. If you want to sue somebody, Glenn, 25%.
Got
We're
it.
not going to. enable you. We're not going to empower you to go sue.
Yeah, which is,
Okay?
because people have that power to
Give
sue
you a
everybody.
Right. So sometimes people say, oh, well, gosh, so my divorce is not free. It's 25%. Well, an uncontested divorce is free,
Right,
100%.
right. Mhm.
But a contested divorce is complicated, and no, it's not free. It's 25% covered. And I like to ask people, if I give you a card, a Walmart card, that gives you 25% off anything in Walmart, including the gas station, at any Walmart in the country,
Wow.
are you going to be upset that it's not getting you free stuff?
No.
You're going to like it. So the minimum
Right, right.
is that everyone in LegalShield has a 25% off card to the legal system.
Wow, wow. Good stuff, yeah. Again, the value in that in and of itself is almost immeasurable. When you talk about if someone comes up with a situation in different states and, even in their home state or whatever the case may be, and having access to something that gives you a discount as well as, maybe 100% covered, So,
And remember, advice is always free
yes.
on anything, past, present, future.
Got it.
Advice, consultation is always free. And
Got
even
it.
document review, letters written, all that is in the 100% category.
Got it.
So, by the way, I don't want to forget to mention to those of you who don't have your will done, and that is probably 80% of the people watching don't have an up-to-date will. LegalShield's going to do your will and your partner's will at no charge, and it'll be done in 2 weeks. That's
Wow.
a will and a power of attorney. And if you have children under 18, this is new. They will set up a trust, a survivor's trust, a children's trust for your children that are under 18 at no charge.
Wait, so if the children are under 18,
It's a special kind of trust
Okay.
for minors.
got it, okay,
Okay?
okay.
Now, they'll set up any trust you like at
25% discount,
right?
okay, yeah.
But your wills and a minor trust are 100%.
Wow, wow.
And I can tell you that 1 out of 1,000 people that are going to watch this have set up a trust for their minor children.
Wow, wow.
But all the rich people do.
All
And
the
there's a
rich
reason.
people, yeah.
And it's not just about being rich. It's just about making sure things happen properly and avoiding probate.
Definitely, yeah. Because probate is a mess in and of itself. A lot of people don't understand how that process goes. But if you have an attorney, you won't necessarily have to know.
It's a safety net that I've enjoyed for 15 years. And I can tell you this: when people say, "Well, but what about all those times when it's just 25%? Don't you have to pay?" And sometimes people ask, "Well, did they bump their rates up and then break it down?" No, we're not going to allow that. Remember, we have a
Right.
billion-dollar company here,
Right.
and it's a very serious business. Been around 47 years and very tightly regulated, and so the fees are the fees.
Right.
And so that doesn't happen. But some people do ask, but won't I be paying doing things often and having to pay? Well, I'll just say this: 15 years, other than real estate closings, I've only ever had to pay 3 times in 15 years. Now, I've used them hundreds of times. Those 3 times were a divorce, a child custody and child support matter, and I asked them to do a patent opinion on an invention I was thinking about. Those 3 times, now again, I've never had to sue anybody. I've never been sued, but those 3 times, I paid 25% less than I would have paid the same lawyer if I
Wow.
didn't have LegalShield.
Amazing. Now I think out of my
You ready to
18
sign
years,
up again?
yeah, man. Listen, give me another one. I'll take
I'll
2.
take 2.
Because I understand the value. I mean, not just being, I'm a big proponent of being a product of the product. And I certainly have been a product of the product. I've actually saved so much over the years of having it. I made the statement, it saved my life because life without having a driver's license is probably something that you can't really function, especially in where we are. We have to have we have to have a car, we have to have a driver's license. But having 13 speeding tickets, now I had more after that, but during that time period when I got this new car.
Did you slow down, Glenn?
Not
Did
at
you
all.
ever slow
Well,
down?
since then I have. But during
Okay.
that time period, I was like, I'm not going to get caught. They're not going to catch me. But you're not realizing, the car I had at the time, it was a flashy car, and, they're always looking for me. I'm like, okay, so now I'll slow down.
And speaking of always looking for you, many people watching may feel that they are more frequently targeted at night or than other people are. And I'll just say that when you have LegalShield and the blue lights come on, and I said I didn't mention this, but I've also used the emergency button myself 3 times in 15 years.
Wow.
3 times. And so some people may have encounters where they are not being respected or treated properly.
Right.
And with LegalShield, you tap that red button, and how long did it take us to get a human on the phone?
4 seconds, 5 seconds?
4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, that person comes on the phone, and then as soon as they confirm that you are a LegalShield member, they're quite happy to sit there on speakerphone through the whole encounter. In
Wow.
fact, they may, if it's a tricky situation, they may go ahead and get the lawyer on the phone
Wow.
to sit
Wow.
there on speakerphone in your car. And nothing changes scenario like when the officer comes up and says, "Sir,
Absolutely.
I just want you to know my attorney is on the speakerphone."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
that be?
It changes the dynamic of a lot of situations.
So,
Yeah.
we're not about condoning problems, but bad things happen to good people, and sometimes
Definitely.
good people do bad things, and
Yes.
sometimes they
Yes.
don't do bad things, but they get blamed for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I really couldn't imagine going forward in life without LegalShield now. And I'll tell you this, I told somebody once, I was broke at one point in my life too. We've all been broke. I was so
Yeah.
broke
Yeah.
that I couldn't pay my power bill once, and a church had to lend me the money for the power bill.
Right.
After my divorce, it was a tough time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, I'm going to pay my LegalShield bill before I pay that power bill. And here's why. Is the power company going to help you with your legal situation?
No.
Is the
No.
law firm going to help you with your power situation?
Yes.
Yes.
I think about that. It's interesting that, over the time that I've had it, I've been through the ups and downs of real estate. And there was that time period during people call it the crash. I call it the transition, the economic
Delayed
transition.
unpleasantness.
Right. During that time, I remember having to do odd jobs to be able to stay afloat, during that time. I mean, I didn't lose anything. I just spent the money that I had, But even during that time, that monthly bill I had for LegalShield was always covered. I don't even know how I did that. I don't even remember.
Well, that was smart.
Because I mean, even doing the different business. I mean, I started a landscaping business, and I had LegalShield review the contracts that I was doing for my clients, and I didn't think. I mean, I guess it was just at that point it was subconscious. Like, I have attorneys that will review these documents. I didn't even think about how much I was paying. I'm like, it's necessary to have it.
Well, and nothing bad happened, but you're talking about lawsuits. But let's back up a step. You're a landscaper, right? You go to their house.
I'm not a landscaper anymore.
No, let's visualize
Listen,
this.
Don't say that.
Visualize
I'm not a
this.
landscaper anymore.
A landscaper goes to the house. And takes care of whatever he's doing, and then he gets or the pest control guy or
Right.
anybody, the massage therapist goes there. They get a call. You ran off the driveway and smashed my sprinkler head, and it's going to be $450 to fix it. You better come fix it. Right? Now, your law firm is going to handle that. They're going to push back on that, and they're going to probably make that go away. It's never going to get to a lawsuit. So there are many things that don't ever get to a lawsuit. Or let's say that you're in a house, you do an inspection, or maybe your employee does, and then comes a claim that some jewelry got missing, or God forbid that some child got touched. There are so many cases where people will just go after people just to get the money for the nuisance factor. It never is going to get to a lawsuit. And as you know, the lawyers are going to step in and go, nope, that's not going to go for it. Because
I had a nightmare tenant that tried to file different paperwork to make so she could stay in the house longer.
did she foreclose?
No,
she
no,
was
no.
a tenant.
She was a tenant.
didn't own it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and after going through the whole, and I was like, I didn't know how the process that she was doing. I was trying to figure out like how is she able to still stay in my house?
Bankruptcy, that's what I meant to say.
No, she didn't do bankruptcy.
didn't do
She
bankruptcy.
filed. I'm not gonna tell the people that are watching because just in case y'all know people that are tenants and some of y'all might be tenants, I'm not gonna give y'all the secret of what she did because I don't want anybody else to ever have to go through what I went through. But she filed some paperwork in a different court, and I was just like, why would she do that? And the court made me understand that she has the right to do that, but all it did was it delayed the process.
That's what she was after.
Right.
Delay.
I had LegalShield send a letter, to speed up the process. And although it was still lengthy, it was shorter than what it would have been had I not had gotten them involved. So I was like, wow, I just imagine she could have stayed in my house probably an additional 6 months had I not gotten them involved to make it. So basically the other court could take their time reviewing the documents. But LegalShield made it so that they speeded up the time to review the documents so that they then could go back to a different court,
Yeah.
so that we can go ahead and get her evicted.
Well, I'm glad we're giving examples that tie straight to being an investor, and I know that probably some people can call in with questions that we can certainly answer online.
Yes.
But I will say one thing that seems to be so prevalent now, and that who is an investor who's not having a problem with a contractor?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm having one myself right now for the kitchen. How are you going? First of all, you should go into the relationship with the contractor on the advice of your attorneys.
Yes.
And
yes.
then, if there is a problem, let your attorneys handle it. Because unless your contractor has LegalShield, which that's a good question. How do we handle that?
Right.
Because what if you and I get into a legal matter? We both have LegalShield. How do we handle that? Well, the law says that one attorney or law firm can't handle both of us. But
Right.
it doesn't change our LegalShield benefits at all. It just means that LegalShield is going to make sure we have different attorneys.
Wow.
Okay? So
Wow,
they have
okay.
to take care of both of us, and they do.
Oh, good
So
stuff.
unless you're, but that is unlikely to be the case because you asked me to go over the numbers, and I'll just run over them real quickly so you understand what this looks like. Let's use Georgia as an example. Georgia has 10,250,000 people, about 10.25 million people,
Okay.
and about 250,000 of them are signed up under LegalShield.
Wow.
It's about 100,000 customers, and most of them are families or else businesses.
Okay.
So it's about 10 million people that are not signed up with LegalShield.
Okay.
Okay. Now, about 1 million of them are not going to ever buy LegalShield
Okay.
because they either they don't have a bank account, or they're behind bars, or they think that because they are an attorney or they know an attorney that they don't need insurance, they don't need LegalShield. That would be like someone who says, I know a doctor, so I don't need health insurance. Well, of course, I'm healthy, so I don't need health insurance. Well, of course you do. But so about 1 million people are not going to buy it. There are about 9 million people, somewhere between 8 and 9 million people in Georgia that don't even know LegalShield exists.
Wow.
So
Wow.
and yet we find that those people who don't know that LegalShield exists, once they understand it and they learn about it from a credible source like yourself, 60% of them buy it.
Wow.
So there's 5 million people out, and many on this call who didn't know about LegalShield, and are now that they know about it, they want to buy it. So how can they buy it?
Well, we'll let them get in contact with you. There's also a website, right? Do you have a website?
Yep. Do you want to just
We'll
read this out? or
we'll
what do you wanna do?
we'll put it in
Put it
the
up on the
comments.
screen,
Yeah,
right?
we'll put it in the comments
Okay.
below so they can they can
And
just click on the
when
link.
you have my contact number, if you would like a copy of the information sheet that says exactly what we do for lawyers and how we do it and what it costs, including launch, then we'll be happy to email that straight to you. So if you'll get in touch with me or with Glenn on the contact information that he's putting up, then we'll get that right to you. There's no, we're not going to chase you down or bug you. We have 5 million people in Georgia who are waiting to buy LegalShield
Right.
as soon as they
Right.
understand it. And so we'll be happy to sell it to you. I mean, we'll be happy to help you buy it, but we're not going to sell it to you.
That's right. That's right. I like that. I like that.
Well, anyway, as you said and I said, and I'll say for, again, the only reason an investor
Right.
doesn't have this is that nobody's explained it to them. 'Cause
Absolutely.
who needs lawyers more than us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, that's coming right up on our time, and absolutely amazing information. I have to say, this has been one of the best shows that we've done, because
Thank you.
not only, I believe, have you enlightened a lot of people about the product, of the service that's available in LegalShield, but you've enlightened me, about how the service works, how I can expand, how I use it, and how I can maximize on the small money that I pay on a monthly basis to use it.
Can I throw one more thing in?
Sure.
How would you like it to be free for the rest of your life? We have everyone that uses LegalShield has the opportunity to join the referral program.
Oh, okay.
And we have a
okay.
very generous referral program. It's an affiliate type program. And
Okay.
LegalShield will literally pay you $10.99 for each referral that you do. Each person that you introduce to LegalShield that ends up buying it, you're going to get actually paid monthly for as long as they keep it. So I started out in that program in 2005. I had the service for about 4 months. Then I was invited to come be in that referral program. In the next 6 months, I made $8,000, and that was just talking to other investors. So
Okay.
if people are looking for another income stream to back up their investment, their real estate business, as I had 6 rental properties, and but my income was like this. I would make $20,000 in a double closing, and then I'd have a $25,000 Home Depot bill for my
Wow.
next project. So you know how it is.
Oh,
and
definitely,
meanwhile,
definitely.
your family is expecting to see that can go to Disney World.
Right.
And so I found, for me, it's just for me, that having the LegalShield income over the last 15 years has really made me independent on my investment side, so that I can do whatever I want in investment, and that's why I buy and sell mountain property.
So you're saying, not only can I have the service, but I can refer it to others, get mine free, and get paid for it?
Remember, 80 to 90% of the people that you know don't even know about
How do I sign up for that?
it. We'll take care of that right after the end of this
Okay. Hey, listen, that's a great situation to be in. And especially, you think about it, if it's something that you're already using anyway. I mean, like myself, I use it. It's necessary for me and what I do. And just being able to have, helps other people understand the necessity of it. You said you're going to give me a check for that?
Well, not me, but LegalShield's going to send you a direct
somebody's
deposit
gonna give me-
every month.
I'm okay with that. Wherever it comes from, doesn't matter as long as somebody cut me a check.
And if they want this information sheet, there's a quote on here that I'll just read. It says, this is from an investor who's had it for a few years. He said, I'm going to recommend this to people and other investors anyway. Why would I not want to get in front of the money?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's it.
Absolutely. Is that somebody I know? That sounds like somebody smart that I
It's
know.
anonymous on there.
Oh, okay, okay.
I didn't want to put a name on, but it is somebody you know.
But you think about stuff like that. The money's gonna flow anyway.
Somebody's going to get paid.
And now I gotta tell you, over the years, I've talked to people about having this service over and over and over again.
Did you ever get paid on it?
I
though?
didn't get paid
You
for it.
didn't? Yeah, if you'd been
So
in the
now,
referral program,
it's time for me to get a check.
you'd be getting paid.
So I think I'm telling about 3,000 or 4,000 of you all about it. So if you sign up for it, tell them that you heard about it from me.
Yeah. And listen, but that is a very good point. Don't go signing up on some website that you find.
Oh, well, because you said they get a
they
discount.
get a huge discount.
Oh,
by coming
yeah.
through
You definitely
so
wanna
make
sign up,
sure
yeah.
you follow up here, and you won't get the investor bundle if you just buy it from some random person.
Got it,
We
got
have
it.
lots of reps around the country, and a lot of people in our referral program, and you probably know someone who sells LegalShield.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
more power to them. God bless them. I hope they do very well. But the investors need to participate in this program.
Definitely.
And just to make that point, one of the 10 things in the investor bundle is a special Facebook group just for investors in your state who use LegalShield, so that we can communicate in a safe environment about the lawyers, about documents. If you do a contract that gets approved, you might put it out there for us to use. We might
Wow,
ask
wow.
questions of each other, might even do deals with each other because we know that we're all safe. So
Absolutely,
that's one
absolutely.
proprietary piece of that bundle.
Great stuff, great stuff. I need to get in that group as well.
Well, you're in it.
I'm-
I just didn't know.
See, look at that. You know, all the additional benefits. I'm going to have them on this show more often.
Well, I think we've had our hour, but it's been great fun. I tell you, I always love getting with you. I think you're one of the most respected and most valuable influencers in this market for many, many years.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you very
appreciate
much.
Your
Thank you very
business
much.
and your friendship.
Thank you very much. Charlie, listen, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you for sharing the information with the folks about how they can get involved in this program and how valuable the service is. Listen, you are a scholar in what you do, and, you know, it's a privilege to have you on the show to be able to share that information.
Thank you.
You know, so listen, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to connect with Charlie. We're going to make sure you get all his contact information. Make sure if you're looking to get the service, connect with Charlie. He's going to be able to show you how to get it and how to maximize the value of it. Again, this is Real Life Real Estate Investing, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. Thank you for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you real soon.